So that was a picture of my butt in the thumbnail. I did it. And, let's just get over the giggling because it comes with a very serious message. And it's a cheeky move to put it up there. And I don't say that to have a pun. It's just a coincidence. That's the word. I feel like it's cheeky to put a naked butt picture. That's not what I do. But this comes with a very serious message. There's a history to this photograph. I've used it before. And I have a lot to say. As much as I said about narcissism, I could talk about self-acceptance of the average female for every day for 10 years and we'd never get anywhere. We torture ourselves beyond anything that could possibly be necessary. And I wrote an article with the picture on the thumbnail that I put on the and I haven't decided what I think about thumbnails yet. I don't know if you've caught on. I'm experimenting. But I had to do a thumbnail in this way because I don't know how to get a picture to pop up here. That's like way, But this is the article, and when I decided to put the picture in the article, I was even nervous because I had family reading my blog. They knew I had one. And this is it. It's still up. I'm just not really active in it. But there are articles. That's how small the picture was. And then there's an article that followed short. I'm going to read it to you. And then we're going to unpack it. Because this is a subject I worry so much about female youth and their minds and how they're being raised and what they're thinking about themselves. And I nailed this part up and down Main Street. I always say I kicked motherhood's butt up and down Main Street. But I said but again. And my daughter would agree. I raised her to know and believe and see herself and her beauty as God made her. And her magnificent glory was the essence of who she was. Doesn't matter what people look like. We torture ourselves. So I had this picture lying around for about a year before I even wrote this article and had the courage to put that. But the subject matter meant so much to me, I wanted to grab attention. Like I said, I never really got very active with my blog, but it sits there. You can look it up. I can't figure out how to do a link, but in description is the name of it. I don't know why I've copy and pasted it. I don't understand why that doesn't work. But Love Your Butt is what I called it. And this is what I said. Because it says a lot, and then we're going to unpack it. Yes, this is a picture of my backside, where I'll talk as we go. You know how I'll interrupt myself, like I just did. And I can't believe I'm posting it either. Pause. I write like I talk. Now get past the naughtiness of it all, because I have an exceptionally vital point to make. So that when I had an aunt reading this, she could understand that I wasn't just trying to show my booty. And for all I know, YouTube might not let this air because there's a butt. Or maybe I have to put something over the butt, like a picture over the butt. Oh, I don't know. So, and like I said, I'm experimenting with thumbnails, but I needed to do one for this video to put the picture up there. Because what am I going to do, hold the picture like this? I don't understand. So this is me writing. And I want you to understand that the state of mind befalls every single person on the face of the earth. And it doesn't matter what a female looks like, we worry about how we look. And a lot of that is our butt. So that's, again, tongue-in-cheek, cheeky play on a word, but it's basically love yourself, obviously, is what I'm saying. The above photo was taken about a year ago, I think, by a person I was seeing at the time. It was spontaneous, as he jumped up and took this to show me what I looked like after listening to me complain for the umpteenth time about having gained 20 pounds in these last few years of my 40s. Nothing fits, blah, blah, blah. To steal a line from a friend of mine, they once said, I remember writing this, it's getting too hard to get dressed. You know what I mean? I was hanging out with somebody who eat, drink, and be merry all the time. You know, I'm only 5'1", I'm a size 2. Well, a size 2 became a 4, became a 6. You know, you can gain 20 pounds on a size 5'1" frame. That's a lot of weight. I was bigger than I was. And so I was complaining about that. And he jumped up to say, you're, beautiful, trying to be supportive and whatever, and that's what he said. So he's trying to show me the picture, and I remember saying, hell no, I don't want to look at it. And when I looked, finally, I was mortified once again, but not the same mortified that I was when it was being taken. I was stunned at how much complaining I did when really I objectively looked at the picture and said, this girl's cute. Even with 20 pounds. Now, you look at that picture, you might say to yourself, well, you still look like you're pretty, thin. Look, 20 pounds on a person, think of that on you, that's going to make you feel differently, especially when you're tiny. Right? That's a lot. That can be 3-4 sizes. 20 pounds is a lot for a little person. So you don't feel like yourself. But I look at the picture and objectively I'm like, that's a cute girl. There's nothing wrong with that. And my mind flipped. All in that minute that he did that he jumped up and took that picture. We were just hanging out. And we are so damn hard on ourselves, I write. But this proves to me that I really don't think some of us ladies see ourselves properly. Which unfortunately can lead to very devastating consequences and ill health for many women. As those very same lovely ladies hurt themselves and become unhealthy trying to achieve something they may already have. Now, I'm not saying have somebody take a picture of you like this and look at them. I wouldn't like what I see, Renee. You don't understand. I do understand here more than you will, more than you will ever possibly fathom. I'm small because I've been starving since I was 9. It's like a choice. It's a battle. It's a struggle. Been my whole entire life. That's a series of 14 videos right there. So once I looked at the picture back at the moment it was taken with the phone, I started to think of a way to use the shock of seeing a cute girl when I truly have been sweating the gainage. After all, 20 pounds, like I said, per decade, and suddenly I would be a very unhealthy older person. So that's how I was looking at it. I was worried. I was like, I'm rounding out my 40s. I've gained 20 pounds in a few years. If you do that every decade, by the time you're 90, you know what I mean? Like, I got to get this weight off. This can't be good for my heart. That's where I was a lot of the time. But also, I knew my clothes didn't fit. I was trying to embrace where I was, but I knew it had to go down, right? So, thinking of being an unhealthy older person. So, women have to think of their hearts as well as men, I write. As I contemplated using the photo, it went right out of my mind. Nope, no way, I have Italian aunts reading my blog. I share it on Facebook. The world would see my butt. I went through all this, worried about whether or not this was 2016. So I went through all this trying to convince myself, okay? And finally, my parents are still alive. I could never. And 20 pounds overweight to boot? You want me to boot? Again, I can't stop with the puns. How is that happening? You want me to post this picture? So that definitely fell into the horrible category of things I didn't want to do. So I did nothing for a long time with the picture. I just kept imagining how helpful it would be. However, if a girl took a second look at themselves, and for me to use this picture, who basically that's a cute person, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with this person. She's a healthy girl, right? And I'm going to use that to empower people because I didn't feel good in that picture. See what our minds do? I was laying there complaining. That in that exact position, he just jumped up. I didn't move. Okay? So, in demonstrating how far off women can be about themselves, I wanted to bring this to light. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still getting interested in, maintaining health and being at our optimal healthy weight for ourselves and, getting in shape, I wouldn't mind doing that right now. I've learned you have to actually do it, though. You can't just think about it, so I'll get back there. But don't misinterpret, I write, my saying this is a cute girl for me thinking I'm all that in a bucket of chicken. I do not. Look, we can't even take any kind of compliment we give ourselves. We have to put a disclaimer. I do not, I write. That is the very exact point I'm trying to convey. If you are feeling less than, please reconsider. Because if you are healthy, living your life to discover your best, most healthy self, then I assure you, you are beautiful. We are all different. I, at 5'1", will never have those long legs that fit into those clothes that I've been reading in Vogue since I was 13 years old. I'll never look like that. You have to accept where you are. I'm just not going to look like that. That's never going to happen. I'm never going to have a straight figure. I like a straight figure. These models, the clothes just fall. I'm an Italian girl. I'm going to have a waist. You know what I mean? Okay. So, when you think about the imperfections that you have and how they're unique to you, and how if you could make those be erased right now, don't you have a secondary list anyway? We all concentrate on the top 3 or 4 things. Many of us, it's our butt. That's why it was like the perfect picture and it popped into my head, love your butt, because a lot of women obsess over what does their butt look like right now, right? And the other day I was watching a Red Table Talk. She quotes in the beginning, 3 billion times the hashtag BBL has been hit. Brazilian butt, whatever, transfer, but that's not BBL. But anyway, I know what it is. It's right here. I have it right here. Actually, you know what? I did write BBL, but that can't be right. But anyway, 3 billion people are obsessed with what their butt, the Brazilian butt lift. Yes, BBL, Brazilian butt lift. They put fat into your butt to make your butt big. People are obsessed with their butts. So, but this article was a while back. So, you have to love yourself. I have learned to be happy with the exact shape God gave me. My body has had a child. It is healthy and strong and capable and working. If you have self-improvements you want to make, then go right ahead. But keep your pursuit within the perspective it deserves. We're not going to look 25 at age 54. Perspective it deserves. Now, I feel it is especially crucial for me to apologize to any of the aforementioned family for showing my butt, that is, even if it posts once I hit publish up there in the right-hand corner. Oh, if it even posts, because I was still wondering if I was even going to publish this within that blog that I kept. My concern for young girls especially far outweighs the mortification that I feel for showing my butt. So that is what ultimately made me decide. My mortification for me showing my butt, is just far outweighed because I get obsessed with what girls think about themselves. They continue to hurt themselves, trying to change themselves into an idea of what they should be, these young girls. Accept your butt, love your butt, stay healthy, and do not harm yourself trying to achieve something that you may even already have. You might be just seeing things that other people don't see. And I think that many of us can be ultra critical on ourselves. We wouldn't even notice something that we notice about ourselves on a friend or a person that we know. It's so little. It's so minuscule. But we see ourselves every day more than anybody else. You're looking at yourself. I got a list a mile long. You know what I mean? So, wouldn't it be the kicker if when you saw a picture of yourself like this, you thought to yourself, I'm doing just fine. I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm here to tell you it kicked me, and it kicked me right in my, butt. See what I did there right at the top of my head? Clever, yes? I know, I'm always like that. So as I conclude this scandalous article about butts, which I'm sure my intelligent readers recognize as a metaphor for yourself, please remember, beauty is about strength of character, of form, of health, and of mind. It's all connected to beauty, my friends. It is not one-dimensional. To be kinder to ourselves during our journeys would save us so much strife. And I know it did me. I'm still working on it all, but I can tell you that I have learned something extremely significant from the butt picture, and it applies to any and all aspects of my life, I think. Things are not as bad as they seem. Kind of applies to everything. They just aren't, I promise. And I have showed the world, which includes the Italian side of my family. The French side will love a butt. The Italian side, although they don't see this YouTube channel. Nobody knows I do this still. But the people, I did announce, I used to put this on my Facebook links to these articles. So they did see these. So that's why I say that. But my butt, to put it out there, that's to prove to you my point. That's me trying to say to you, even when I was so unhappy and felt unhealthy and my clothes didn't fit and I felt like lazy, I couldn't move out of my own way, and we were eating, drinking, and being merry morning, noon, and night for like a few years there in my mid to late 40s, me and this person I was hanging out with, that doesn't mean that you have to be so down on yourself. Because again, you might be just perfect the way you are exactly now. Now again, health, self-evolution, self-improvement, those are very healthy states of mind that you can work. Pardon me, I don't know what happens lately when I talk a lot. I get like a hiccup or something. But to be kinder to ourselves during our journeys would save us so much strife. I know it did me. The reason I wanted to put that in there is I have since learned from that. That is a lesson that I have taken forward. And I wanted to just mention that for a second. It really did release me of so much burden in that department that I had carried for so long. And it minimized it. It minimized it. Tell each other also is something else I talk about here. I put, so love your butt. Let's all love each other's butts. Tell each other we love each other's butts. We women could use to be nicer to each other, and perhaps that could be a productive start. That's what I wrote. That's what I was hoping for. That was 6 years ago. And I think that it's gotten more and more and more. The amount of things that people get done to themselves to look a certain way, and I am down for anything you want to do. If you have something, you know, people, it started out, it would be a nose job, right? Now I have it's like a French, it's like a pug nose, it's like a button. I love a nose with a bump, but that's always the first thing people with a bump want to get. Mine has, if anything, like an indent. Like, you know what I mean? My daughter has one of those perfectly straight noses like her father. But people with a bump, I love it. Cher, Barbara Streisand, Lady Gaga. Oh, I just think it adds so much to someone's face. But that's something that bothers them, so change it. Something that bothers you, change it, I guess. You know what I mean? But I feel that we look the way that we look uniquely. And I've watched the younger generation blend together. Haven't you seen it? Like, think of your own, if you're my age, I'm 54 years old, and I think of my own high school class, my own college class, my own 20s, my 30s. Friends you hung out with, jobs you had. Everyone had their own look. There was not, and social media has done this, of course, there was not this cookie cutter. Everyone had an instantaneous daily look to which they could aspire. Unless you read fashion magazines, you didn't see pictures of of what you can find today on beauty, on outfits, on hair stuff, on all kinds of stuff. Everyone's starting to blend together to me. Everyone looks the same. Everyone has the same hair, long, waved. I don't know. I just feel like everyone looks the same lately. And no one's embracing their own uniqueness. And people are erasing, with surgeries and other kinds of procedures, the very thing that makes them them. Again, I'm all for whatever you want to have done. If something's been bothering you or you want to try something, absolutely, and you have a right, and anyone has a right. And I tried everything in my 40s, things that leave you. I tried fillers here and this there and Botox. I tried a little bit of everything, right? That's what you do. You go through and you figure out what works for you. Now I know I just get a little Botox just in these lines, in my forehead. I don't like when they become prominent, so that's what I do. There's a lot of women who get a lot more. And some women would say, oh my God, I have a friend. You put that in your face? These lines bother me. I don't do it around my eyes. I don't do it around, when I have these lines and they're not here because I try to stay up on it. But I've been worrying since I was a child. And I think it's developed very prominent, like these 3 lines that go across my forehead. And I see them. Now again, somebody else might not even see those. But like I leave enough, like I said, she's like, what about the 11? What about, I said, no, I want to be able to raise an eyebrow, look mad. It's just these little bits, it bothers me. Makes me feel better to get that done about once every 8-10 months or something. I don't know. But whatever you want to do is up to you. But love your butt. Love yourself. Love as you are. Take a long, hard look at yourself and list what's positive about you. And then, if you think to yourself, well, I'd love to look like, I look to strong women. Like, I would love to have an athletic frame. Like, where I get really in shape. I don't know that I would ever have the dedication to get there. Do you know what I mean? I try to do what I can do, but I just don't know, but I would love it. If there's a place you want to get, I'm trying to get to where I do that now. Every day I try to do something, right? I'm like, Renee, just move, just do it. So if there's somewhere you want to be, by all means, self-improvement rocks. But don't succumb to the vanities and the ways of today to the point that it makes you feel down about yourself and the way that you are right now. That's my concern for the youth of today. I don't want people that look really unique going through life wishing they looked like the cookie cutter on the cover of everything. Maybe that's why I like a bump in the nose, or I like a face that looks like it's been beat up. Like Harrison Ford has a scar on his chin. Like, I like the guy to look like he can handle himself or something. Like, I like an imperfection, right? I like the imperfections. And when everybody fixes every imperfection, it bothers me. Off the top of my head, Dylan McDermott is one of my favorites, one of my boyfriends in my head. He's an actor. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He has this tooth that's crooked. I've been watching him since The Practice, so we're going on like, God, that's 30 years now, whatever. He has a tooth that's crooked. And he didn't fix it as recently as anything I've seen him in, and I hope he never does. I love it. Imperfections. But maybe that bothers him. I don't know if he looks in the mirror and sees it and it bothers him. I think it makes his whole smile. His. I don't want him looking straight across like every other smile out there. It could be anything. And young women are so hard on themselves. Love your butt is a message of self-empowerment, self-acceptance. Absolutely love your butt. You gotta love your butt. You gotta love your butt. Period, end of story. You gotta love your butt. And beware of this kind of surgery. This whole segment was about the danger of it and the risks involved that can include death and have included death. Is your butt that worth it? Like, I don't understand. Are you a butt model? I guess to be on the line with outfits and pictures, if that's your shtick, then maybe. But I was wondering how many people see my butt even a month. I pretty much stay home alone. Like, I don't care. Not that I don't care what it looks like. We always care what we look like. We're women. But I mean, who's seeing your butt that you're going to spend $10,000 on having it changed? Well, it's the same as breast augmentation. Okay, you're right. I guess it is. But you're talking to someone who had boobs in and out within 15 months. I don't mind telling you. 15 months. This was a little over 10 years ago. I always loved being small. It was an afterthought. I had it done. Midlife type little, I didn't even go very big. It was like 180 I had them put in. So it was like, I was like a B or something. I woke up, said I hated them, get them out. I knew I would. I wore baggy things for a year and had them taken out. It wasn't comfortable to me. I enjoy being small. I like being small. I was very self-conscious. I gained weight to gain myself into those. Like, I'm here to tell you, I'll have a long conversation with anybody about anything because I like to discourage the youth from going through hard lessons like that and just accepting themselves from the beginning, which I always did. I never wanted to get boobs. Never did. It was like an impulse decision. I don't remember, and I didn't want to be bigger. I had this vision that they would be shaped differently and be like these perfectly little round. Didn't work out that way. And I thought they just felt awkward on me. So they lasted a year. But I tried it. So maybe that was, again, I have to walk through the fire to learn something. So maybe if I didn't do that at age 41 or 4 or 3 or however old I was, maybe I would have been still wondering about it now. If that could be done, which, by the way, that can't. If you're getting something done, they're going to be bigger. They're not just going to be a different shape. So I'll save you the time and money and effort. I know. It was dumb. But what are you going to do? You live, you learn. Okay? But I look back and think I had to go through all that to accept. I was fine before. I felt fine. Something triggered me. Something made me go that far. Something I saw. Something I felt. Why? Just take a moment. And love your butt. Love your butt. Please. Love your butt. Please hit sub, like, and share. Thank you for joining us on our off-topic Friday. And this is a very serious topic, even with the picture I had to post up there. But I appreciate you watching, and go forward and love your butt. You gotta love your butt. It's the vital message.